It's just fantastic. Listen, heavy, soft, I don't care. Good music is good music, and I need more of this on my channel. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for another reaction video. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications, and you're good to go. We are finally back with PVRIS. I'm a huge fan of this band, and if you think back to when I first started this channel, I think one of my first couple of reactions was to PVRIS. I was sitting outside in a garden with very loud birds. It was a hot mess, but we have evolved, and we're back with them again. They have teamed up and collabed with a singer-songwriter named Raye, and I can't wait to get stuck into this. Huge fan of these guys and how they've evolved, like their sound. So without further ado, PVRIS Thank You featuring Raye, or Raye, official lyric video. Let's see what you got.
Clouds go gray, dressed in silver linings. Don't know what you didn't have till it's gone. It's okay, pain's got perfect timing. Now I know, thought it was wrong.
Okay, just the start of this is making me smile. A lot of cool things happening with quite a simple start and a delicate start at that. So a lot of busyness up front. I'll go back so it leads in. Busyness up front. A lot of kind of editing and digital manipulation of certain instrumentation. Gets a bit busy, nice drone build up, gets louder, all of a sudden drops off. It's like this anticlimax, but it's filled with something sweet, so you don't feel like you're missing out. The vocals come in really nice and clear through the middle, and behind them you have a couple of things happening. It sounds like there's some nice picked work happening there. It's kind of syncopated. It's got a rhythm to it and a loop, but it's not too predictable. Nice and melodic. It's got a nice delay on it. Also, it sounds like there's a lot of reverb on it as well. Feels like it's been recorded in a big room, or at least that's the effect they want from it. And then you've also got some piano chords that are just ringing out very delicately, lower chords, and it's just beautiful. It's well produced. You can tell automatically it's well produced. Also like the phrasing of the vocals. Let's see where this goes.
It's okay, pain's got perfect timing. Now I know, thought it was wrong. Never loved me, you loved me, losing my mind. Ooh, you gave me nothing, guess the love was all mine.
Okay, for me, there's very few things cooler than great vocal production, and it's happening here. Really nice, delicate voice recorded on a very sensitive mic, it sounds like, and so you can hear some characteristics of like a whisper here and there. Very cool. And then you can hear these underlays, so you can hear a lower vocal at some points. On the ooh that she does, there is a nice drive to it. Feels like there's a nice clipping effect on that as well. Then there's an underlay on the next cycle. It doesn't feel like it has too many effects on, but sometimes at the end of the vocal, you can hear that size of that room again, and I just think it's masterfully done.
Ooh, you gave me nothing, guess the love was all mine, and it's still mine. Thank you for fucking it up. Thank you for cutting it off. You're nothing but a bullet that I dodged. Thank you for fucking me up, but it was worth all it cost. 'Cause I found myself in all the blood I lost. Turn all the lights out.
Come on. This is too cool, man. This is what I love. I do a lot of the heavier stuff on this channel, but this kind of stuff feeds my soul in equal measures, because I'm a huge fan of just greatly produced, well-written songs. And this is that to a T. Love it. Go back so it leads in. When it goes in, that vocal phrasing, just the intensity, the speeding, and the kind of staccato element to bits of that phrasing is awesome. I really like the bass line in the back. It is so good, so melodic, and brave to just kind of have that as the leading piece. You have that percussion kind of hit, and then it goes into that digital drum loop. Just all works for me. I think it's fantastic.
But it was worth all it cost. 'Cause I found myself in all the blood I lost. Turn all the lights out, I'ma sit here in the darkness. I kiss my shoulder, sing myself to sleep. It's a mind like yours will make anyone sick regardless. Yeah. Will you call my phone when I'm floating out of reach? Oh.
Evolution. When songs evolve like this, think about where it started. Think how delicate, stripped back, honest, authentic, and now think about where we are now. Great. I like the vocal play between the two. I think it's very, very cool. There's a distinct different character to it, and now you have this fullness in the second verse. Really full. That bass line is still there. The kind of electronic drum sound that is coming through a lot more clearly, more consistently. I like on the snare hit, there seems to be like a wash kind of sound, almost like a clap, but not quite. I want to hear that again. And you've got this like funk-like guitar, which is that nice clean tone that is ultra sensitive. You can almost hear the pick hitting a couple of those strings, and it sounds like there's a nice delay on that as well. So what they're doing is a lot of the instrumentation is doing, or the melodic instrumentation is doing minimal work with great effects on to fill the gaps between those significant pieces, and it does show. And what it also does is to create a nice gap in the middle for the vocals to be placed correctly. When I say placed, it's down to that editing process and the mastering. It makes it really clear, easy to compress things and push the volume up as a whole. It's awesome.
Mind like yours will make anyone sick regardless. Yeah. Will you call my phone when I'm floating out of reach? Oh, you never love me losing my mind. Love me losing my mind. You never love me. Now my heart still beats without your touch, so I can't thank you enough. Thank you for fucking it up.
Okay, I got to go back there. I was thinking to myself, how are they going to go into the chorus? Because there was such impact that had been created by not experiencing that phrasing, not having that bass line, not having the electronic drum sound, at least in the way that it came in the chorus. But they did find a way, and they found a really smart way. They half-timed everything, and they took the drum sound and pushed it really far back. So there was an echo on there, not so much definitely a bit of reverb, but no delay or anything, just a nice echo. And the kind of spatial effect you use, there gets a point where it starts taking away from the actual quality of the instrument or the manipulated sound modulation piece, and it starts emphasizing more the space than the instrument. And the reason I say that is, on every vocal you've ever listened to in a recording, there is a bit of reverb, whether it's natural from the room they're in or added after. And that's because if you took it away, it would sound incredibly unnatural, it would sound horrible. 90% of the time it's recorded clean, and they add that on just to create a bit of natural resonance to it. They're doing that with the drums here, but they're overemphasized. They pushed it all the way the other way, so you can hear the space above the instrument or above the sound, and it's really cool, especially if you go half time. That way when you go into the chorus again, you speed it up. It's just fantastic. Listen, heavy, soft, I don't care. Good music is good music, and I need more of this on my channel.
You never love me. Now my heart still beats without your touch, so I can't thank you enough. Thank you for fucking it up. Thank you for cutting it off. You're nothing but a bullet that I dodged. Thank you for fucking me up, but it was worth all it cost. 'Cause I found myself in all the blood I lost. Oh, it's what I need.
Yeah. Small things being added throughout the song that weren't there before. It's just a quality editing job, really, and production. Most of all, production. Whoever produced this is stupidly smart, and I'd love to talk to them, because small thing there, when they're bringing in that funk-like guitar again, it sounds like there's a nice phasing on it, but also there's a deterioration of the beginning of the notes. It sounds like the attack has been interfered with deliberately. It feels like it's been broken up, so that the start of it isn't quite clear. It's almost a skip to it, and then you can hear it go in. Thank you.
But it was worth all it cost. 'Cause I found myself in all the blood I lost. Oh, it's what I need, what I need, what I needed. I had to bleed just to feel what I feel. It's what I need, what I need, what I needed. I had to bleed just to feel
okay, you saw me kind of accent where that was going to slow down and stop, and it was predictable because it should be. I knew we were heading into one from a timestamp point of view. We're heading towards the end of the song, so they're going to have to do something a little different. Usually, is a dip in energy, especially when there's been a nice consistent beat like that. Feels a bit funky, feels poppy, feels very synth and digital, but also has that really nice clear vocal and melody that I could easily imagine being translated into a really beautiful acoustic performance, and that is part of the success of a great song, or a well-written song. But I want to go back to here because I'm not going to harp on too much about it. I've said a lot about spatial effects. I've said a lot about the use of jumping in between, pushing stuff forward and back. Everything I said earlier, it happens right here. Just listen and appreciate it.
You never loved me, you loved me, losing my mind. Losing my mind.
Nice cycle.
When I think about it, you gave me something, you made me realize I'ma be alright. Thank you for fucking it up. Thank you for cutting it off. You're nothing but a bullet that I dodged. Thank you for fucking me up, but it was worth all it cost. 'Cause I found myself in all the blood I've lost. What I need, what I need, what I needed. I had to bleed just to feel what I'm feeling. What I need, what I need, what I needed. Yeah, I had to bleed just to feel what I'm feeling.
What a groove. What a song. Great lyrics, great message behind it. Obviously personal to the people who are singing it, but just relatable, great song in terms of the fact that it's a nice melody. It's a nice phrasing. It's just a nice, it almost sounds in some ways familiar, but in other ways really new. I think it's, you know, I don't really look at lyrics that much. And sometimes when you get a lyric video, it's really nice. Again, that message that they're singing is very personal to them. But when you can communicate an emotion through music, that's kind of where I latch onto. So I don't really always, even if I'm reading the lyrics and I'm singing them, it's not something that I focus on because I'm more the music side of things. I think there's people who do look at the lyrics and can do a much better job of that. But in terms of the music production, very relatable, and big fan of that indeed. And I think that they're just a special band. If you haven't heard of them before, I highly encourage you to do so. And if you go back and listen to a song, I think it's called My House, that's kind of where I started my journey with them, and you will quickly see that it is a very big evolution from then to now. And I think bands should evolve. A lot of bands get flack and trouble for that. They get, you know, everyone wants them to create the same albums over and over again, and why would they? Well, first of all, it would be boring. Okay, I understand there's an emotional attachment to a certain time when you hear a particular album, but they also wouldn't stick together because they need to grow. They need to feel inspired, and that was a great song. I really like that, and I know they've got a few other ones out as well, so I will definitely dig my heels into those. And you know, I'm gonna start doing, as much as I love what all the other bands that I'm doing on the channel, and that's not going to stop, I am going to be introducing some new stuff, maybe some softer stuff, maybe some jazzy stuff, blues stuff, pop stuff. I think part of what I'm trying to do in terms of educating about production, instrumentation, music can easily be applied to the heaviest of metal and the poppiest of pop, because like I said, good music is good music. And I'm a huge fan of production and producers, and maybe in another life I could have, you know, taken that route. But I think if I can help explain certain things, you know, job done for me. So I'm very happy with that. And amazing song. Can't wait to do another one. Until then, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.